cancer disease and the risk of cancer. And the paradigm shift has been, it's better to make your own antioxidants rather than to take them. Get your body to make its own antioxidant enzymes. So as I was learning this whole NRF2 thing, I got really excited. And I said to myself, if this is such a big deal, there's got to be other people looking at this. And in fact, there are drug companies. They're developing synthetic drugs that are NRF2 activators because they have begun to recognize the role that oxidative stress has in the development of all of those different diseases that I showed you on that slide that was all green. Okay? This is a list, a partial list of some of the companies and some of the universities that currently hold patents on synthetic NRF2 activating compounds. Okay? This company right here is the only one that has one that's FDA approved right now. It's called Tecfidera for the treatment of multiple sclerosis. It's a great drug, 50% reduction in relapse rates of MS. All of these companies are jumping on the NRF2 bandwagon. And the really cool thing is, we have with Protandim the most potent, doesn't matter if it's a drug or a nutritional supplement, the most potent activator of NRF2 that's ever been studied. I have yet to see a study that shows anything that's more potent than Protandim as a NRF2 activator. And Protandim is all natural, 5 plant-based ingredients. This is a study that came out about a year ago, a little over a year ago. NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. Wow. It doesn't get any better than that. No. I can't say it any more clearly than that. This is a big, big deal. Oregon State did some studies on NRF2, and they have a great description of what NRF2 does. It goes back to the cellular nucleus, rings the alarm bell where it can turn on up to 200 genes responsible for cell repair, detoxification of carcinogens. Let that sink in for a moment. Okay? Protein and lipid metabolism, antioxidant protection, and other actions. In the report, they called it the longevity assurance factor. There are animal studies that show that those animals that live the longest have the highest levels of NRF2, and they also stay the healthiest the longest when they have high levels of NRF2. So Protandim is our flagship product, clinically proven in humans to reduce oxidative stress 40% in 30 days on average. No other product on the market, drug or supplement, can make that claim. We can because we have the studies to back it up. If you don't believe me, go to PubMed.gov. We have 18 plus scientific peer-reviewed studies that you can look at and you can evaluate them for yourself. And that's exactly what I had to do. When I watched the ABC News investigative report, my interest was piqued. But I wasn't all in at that point. I wasn't all in until I read the studies, particularly the one from the American Heart Association. That was my epiphany moment. That's when I was all in. That's when I said, this is the real McCoy. This is something I need to get behind. Here's what's in it. Green tea, turmeric, milk thistle, ashwagandha, and bacopa. I don't care if you guys know what those things do. It's not important. What's important is the 5 together enhance the effect 1,800% or 18-fold. So you can see what each one of the individual ingredients do. I did a Skype meeting with an integrative physician near Los Angeles just yesterday, actually. He's going to start using this in his clinic. Why didn't you guys get to him? Why did I have to come from South Dakota to get this guy in Los Angeles? Boom! Carrie Dickey, why is he not in your business?
He is.
Good point. As I was having a conversation with this gentleman, he said, well, gee, I heard curcumin is a really good NRF2 activator. Well, here's curcumin by itself. It actually decreased the activity. Okay? So I don't know what he's reading, but he's reading the wrong stuff. But he did read this stuff on Protandim, and he said, I'm all in. This stuff is amazing. I didn't realize there was something out there that was this potent at activating NRF2. He knew all about NRF2, but he didn't know about Protandim. We have to go educate the world about this. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal. That led to all of these patents that we have in the U.S. and around the world, 6 U.S. patents, 5 international patents. In my anti-aging fellowship program, 2 of the instructors talked about NRF2. Both of them said, this is the first time I've ever talked about NRF2, but you guys need to know about this because it's coming. It's going to be a really big deal. and you guys need to know about this. So here's what he said. Nerve 2 is a revolution in science and is the most important anti-aging pathway in the human body. Mind you, this is a guy who was the chief science officer of a nutraceutical company that was making a product based off of an ingredient called sulforaphane, which is the active ingredient in broccoli, which is a nerve 2 activator, which is 1/6 to 1/7 as potent as Protandim at activating nerve 2. I went up to him afterwards and I said, do you know about Protandim? And he said, well, gee, yeah, I've read their studies. They've got really good stuff. And he announced that to the entire class. And he said to the entire class, he said, if you guys are looking for something to activate nerve 2, you should really take a look at Protandim. This is a guy that works for a company that was selling a competing product. And he said, you guys need to go look at Protandim because it's the most potent nerve 2 activator out there. That's incredible. One of my colleagues finished a functional medicine fellowship recently. She took her written exam about a month ago. She texted me after the exam and she said, Mark, you would not believe the number of questions that there were on nerve 2 on this exam. And I said, that's funny, because when I talk to 99.9% of the physicians out there, they have no idea what nerve 2 is. Okay, it's only in the preventive, integrative, functional medicine world that people have any idea what nerve 2 is. If you go talk to a random doctor on the street, they're not going to know what this is. So every time I do a meeting like this, somebody inevitably comes up to me afterwards and says, well, I want to go talk to my doctor about this. And so here's what I say to that person. I say, here's what you ask your doctor. Ask your doctor to tell them all that they know, to tell you all that they know about nerve 2. And if they look at you with the deer in the headlights look, what business do they have making a recommendation whether you should be taking a nerve 2 activator if they can't even explain what a nerve 2 activator
Amen.
is?
Yep.
So the company started with Protandim. The next product that came out was True Science, which is an anti-aging skincare cream, skincare system that's based off of Protandim. It's got all the same ingredients that are in Protandim as well as some others. Louisiana State University early on did 2 studies on Protandim, very profound. To the company, and they said, this stuff has such amazing results in the skin, you guys need to develop. So we are blessed that Dr. Natalie Chevreau, the developer of a product called Strivectin. Anybody hear of Strivectin?
Yeah.
Okay. She developed that product, the #1 anti-aging product in Europe for a number of years. She developed this system, and she said what we have here is light years ahead of what we had with Strivectin. That's what it does with the nerve 2 activation. Canine Health came out shortly thereafter. People were giving their dogs Protandim. Dogs have higher levels of oxidative stress, and as a result, they age faster. They have a lot of the same conditions that humans get as they age as well. So people started giving their dogs Protandim, and they were seeing remarkable results. So the company capitalized on it and developed Canine Health, a doggy version of Protandim. It also has collagen and omega-3 fatty acids in it. Now, oftentimes when I talk to people about Protandim, they kind of get the, this is one of those things, and I don't know that I want to do one of those things. But gee, let me try that stuff for my dog. So they give their crippled up dog Canine Health, and 2 weeks later they call you and they said, Play-Doh is doing really well. Did you say they make that stuff for humans? Because I've had that happen. Pardon? Yeah. Yeah. They have to see the results in their own pet before they'll believe that it could work in them. So these are just some examples. So the True Science anti-aging system actually causes healing and regeneration of the skin. And we've got all the pathological studies that prove that. If you need to see that for your own edification, we can show you that. But I mean, this is just a very common example of what happens. Look at the difference in the wrinkles underneath your eyes. Now, we also have a product called MicroLift, which is more of a cosmetic product. This is more of a cover-up. Photoshop on the tip of your finger, or as one of my construction worker friends said, spackle for the face. Look what it does. I mean, if you're going out on a date, you're going to your class reunion, look at this. I mean, it causes that tightening of the bags underneath the eyes, fills in the wrinkles. She looks remarkable. This stuff really, really works. Canine Health, we talked about Axio. Extra is their energy drink. I hate that term. I call it brain food.
Yes.
Because when I think of an energy drink, what I think of is Red Bull, Rockstar, 5-Hour Energy, Monster. We had these guys working on our deck the last couple of months, and I found all these Monster cans laying around. They're like this big. You know, have you seen those things? You know how bad those are? I see the results of that when the patients show up at the ER with palpitations because of drinking these energy drinks. Has anybody ever had that happen to them? I did. I was at Sturgis. This was about 5 years ago. I had never had an energy drink in my entire life. And anybody been to Sturgis? You know about Wyoming Wednesday?
No, we're Californians.
Okay. Sheila, Wyoming, which is where Devil's Tower is, they have a big, what they call the Ham and Jam on the Wednesday during the rally week. It's also called No Panty Wednesday. You can figure that out for yourself. But the Red Bull people were there, and they were giving out free Red Bull samples. So I said, I've never had one. I'll try one. So I drank it. And a half an hour later, I'm riding my motorcycle on these sweeping curves in the Black Hills, and all of a sudden, I think I went into atrial fibrillation.
You had to go to a cardiologist.
I did.
I know.
I said, I hope I don't pass out and crash my motorcycle, but I didn't. So anyway, I was concerned when the company said they were coming out with an energy drink, but this isn't that kind of energy drink. This is brain food, okay? And this is the reason why. If you look at the ingredients, pine bark, L-theanine, green tea, caffeine in one but not the other, DMAE, magnesium, quercetin, B vitamins. The ingredients were chosen to try to address the root cause of why people are reaching for an energy drink. Is it because of depressed mood, lack of concentration, that mental fog or fatigue? So what I noticed when I started drinking this while I was still practicing is at the end of the day when I had a stack of patient charts that I had to go through, enter stuff in the computer, dictate notes, it was the most tedious, time-consuming, boring task that I had to deal with, and I hated it. And it would take me forever to do it. But when I was drinking this stuff, I was laser focused and I would get the job done. And one of my distributors back in South Dakota calls this the get the stuff done drink. And it really does. It's good stuff. You need to try it. Physique is a weight management system, foreign products, probiotic, protein shake, fat burn, and cleanse. This study will be etched in your memory forever. Why a probiotic? Okay. These rats were fed controlled chow or fast food chow, which I think was like ground up McDonald's French fries that they put in little pellets.
That's terrible.
Half of them got a probiotic, Lactobacillus reuteri. Look at what happened. The ones that got the probiotic didn't get fat. Why is that? Probiotics are bacteria that are in your gut. You have to have them there. There's good and there's bad. There's good and bad bacteria in your gut. You want the good ones. You want to get rid of the bad ones. If you have the bad ones, you have more disease, more inflammation, and so forth. There's a project going on at the National Institutes of Health right now called Human Microbiome Project. Okay? What ones do the good things, what ones do the bad things. This was one of those studies. And what they, bacteria are living organisms. They make proteins that they secrete. And where do they secrete them? Into your intestinal tract. And these proteins do things, okay? Well, this particular bacteria secretes a protein that helps break down fats and sugars before they get absorbed through your intestines. And that's why these animals didn't get fat. So who wants to take a probiotic now? Absolutely. Now, the fat burn. There's a fat burn product that we have. 2 ingredients, Sinotrol and Stutol. Sinotrol is made to get rid of the abdominal fat, that toxic belly fat that's around the middle, that's around your organs. That's the stuff that increases inflammation, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and so forth. In their study before they released this, they found about a 200% reduction in abdominal fat using this stuff versus placebo. This stuff really works. One of the problems with losing weight is typically people lose muscle mass along with the fat. The Stutol helps to maintain the muscle mass. So we got both things going for us. The Sinotrol makes you lose that belly fat. The Stutol helps you maintain the muscle mass. And here's the results. These are both 30 days, okay?
Oh.
Yeah, can you believe that?